Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So today and Wednesday, Amy Gazaway will be with us, and she is from Career Services for the college. Today she's going to talk about career services available to you campus-wide, as well as what you need to know about professional dress. And then on Wednesday, she's going to talk to you about mastering the job interview, okay? And so I want you to do two things as you're listening to her. One is, how can you use this information for yourself as you think about your career and applying for positions and so forth? But I also want you to think about it as it relates to your team project. So how can you use this information to decide who you're going to hire this semester? So for example, professional dress. You're going to evaluate others' professional dress, and so you want to make sure you understand how to do that. You're also, more importantly, going to be evaluating how they do during the interview and choosing who to hire. And so you need to understand what a good interview looks like. Make sense? Okay. So we are going to record this today, and I'm going to pass the baton.
Okay. Good deal. So how are y'all doing? Good? Good. We're going to spend about half the class period talking about services that are available through our office downstairs in the Fishbowl, the Student Success Center, 103, whatever it is you want to call us, and then also university-wide. So I'll kind of explain what the relationship is between the two offices, and then as Dr. Weeks indicated, we'll talk professional dress as well. So we are located in the Student Success Center. So to set the stage, I want to share with you a little bit about the Student Success Center and what our mission is, our hope for students, our goal. It's really to support your learning and development towards making effective life decisions and working towards those career goals that you may have, as well as those educational and personal goals that you have. Along those lines, there's a number of different services that we provide. They kind of fall under three different umbrellas. One is transition services, so helping first-year students, whether that's freshmen or transfer students, find their way here at Oklahoma State University and in the College of Ag Sciences and Natural Resources and get established in a firm foundation for academic success and personal and professional success. We also provide academic support within our office. For example, we have tutoring that's offered through our office. We have connections with other tutoring resources on campus, as well as being an outpost for the Writing Center. And then we also work with students and helping them figure out time management and study skills in order to promote academic success. And then a big part of what we do is career development services, and that's what we're going to talk the most about today with regards to our office. And so when you hear Kasner Career Services, College of Ag Sciences and Natural Resources Career Services, that is career services within the Student Success Center. And our philosophy as far as career services is concerned is really a very holistic philosophy, a holistic mission. We want to take you through that entire career development cycle. It is a cycle that you're experiencing right now as a college student. It's a cycle you're going to go through several times throughout your lifetime. We want to facilitate learning on all levels, so freshmen through alumni are the stakeholders that we work with, and helping them to discover different career options, to prepare for establishment, also to secure opportunities, and then also to thrive in those opportunities as an engaged professional. So again, we support the entire career development cycle. One of the resources that we have available for you as a student so that you can navigate that cycle in a self-directed way is our Kasner Career Engagement Guide. It's a resource that we put together about 2 years ago, and it provides recommendations for every stage in that cycle. Whether you are still in the process of discovering what it is you want to do, trying to figure out what options are out there, doing some self-discovery to try to figure out what your interests and abilities and values and talents are and how to connect those with different opportunities that are out there. If you're still in that process, there are recommendations for you in the career engagement guide, and we work with students through those recommendations. If you're in the prepare, you already know kind of what it is you want to do, maybe some things you're considering, but you're trying to figure out how do I make those a reality by the time I graduate, then we provide some support and recommendations as far as that stage is concerned as well. Maybe you're in the secure phase right now. How many of you are getting ready to go out on an internship potentially? You're trying to secure that internship. You're trying to figure out, how do I find it? What resources should I use? How do I put together my resume, fine-tune my interview skills? That's the secure phase. And so we provide recommendations for students and support for students in that phase as well. Or maybe you've already got that internship sealed up. You know where you're going. You may even have a full-time job. If you're nearing graduation, you may have that full-time job already firmed up as well. So that's where we work with students in thriving, figuring out how do you thrive in that new experience? How do you tie up loose ends here on campus and also set yourself up for success as you step into that new experience? So discover, prepare, secure, thrive. It's a cycle. Again, it's a cycle you're going through right now. It's a cycle that 10 years down the road, you may be going through again. You may have something in your life that gives you that urge that, you know what, I may need to do something different. And so you're back in discovery. What is it that I want to do? What are the options that are out there to me? Or for me. So it's a cycle, again, that you're going to go through throughout your lifetime. Our goal is to help you figure out how to navigate that cycle so that as you go through it again in repeated times, you know how to do it and do it effectively. The Career Engagement Guide provides recommendations for each stage of the cycle, and we work with students and support students in each stage of the cycle. But another thing about the Career Engagement Guide is it doesn't just provide those recommendations and how we work with students. It's not just giving you recommendations. It's really helping you understand the purpose behind those recommendations. Why do we recommend that you do this? And then the path. How do you do it? So the recommendation, the purpose, and the path. That's how we work with students in supporting them through the cycle, and we put a lot of those recommendations in the Career Engagement Guide, which is available for you on our website at kasner.okstate.edu. So I would encourage you to use that as a resource. There's a number of different competencies that we want you to develop while you engage with our office, and those are listed up here. It ranges everything from accepting responsibility, realizing that your career development really is your responsibility. We're here to support you by providing those recommendations and helping you understand the purpose behind them and the path, but we can provide those recommendations all day long. If you don't accept your responsibility for taking action on some of those recommendations, it's not going to do you any good. So we want you to accept that responsibility for your own career development. We want you to have that understanding of self, your interests, your abilities, your talents, your values, and how those are going to impact your career decisions. How do you all think those impact your career decisions? Give me an example.
In order to understanding yourself helps you find a position or find a place that you feel comfortable, that you can have success and you can be happy.
Okay, helps you find that fit. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It helps you figure out what you're willing to give up. I mean, you may know what that dream job is, but it may not be available when you graduate. So what are you willing to sacrifice a little bit in order to have something that's as close to that dream job as possible? You really can't know that unless you have a good sense of self. So we want you to understand self for that reason as well. We want you to understand the world of work. The world of work is dramatically different than the world of college. You may not start class till 10:30 in the morning. This may be your first class on Mondays. But the world of work oftentimes doesn't work that way, for example. So we want you to understand that world of work. We want you to have comfort in making decisions, that confidence to make decisions. I work with students all the time who say, yeah, I know I need to be doing this. I just haven't done it yet. Because sometimes making those decisions can be pretty scary. And so sometimes people put off things that are scary. They put it on that back burner. Oh, it can wait. It really can't. You know, career development is something that really needs to start now. If you haven't started already, it's not something that you can put off until the day before graduation, or worse yet, 2 to 3 weeks after graduation. We're still going to support you regardless of when you take charge of your career development. But in order to maximize your success, you need to start making those decisions and develop a comfort level in making those decisions. To quote Nike, just do it, basically. We want you to gain relevant experience. That's one of the fortunate things about AG leadership is that it requires an internship. And so we want you to gain that experience because the most valuable experience that what employers tell us, what research has shown, what they are looking for the most is students that have experience. And so we want the students that interact with us to have that experience to do those internships. We want them to understand what networking is and how to do it. What is networking? What do you all think?
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Okay, or who knows you, as Harvey McKay would say, one of the leading networking gurus. Okay, so what else goes into that? So it's who knows you or who you know. What else? Anybody want to?
Connections you have, the better off you are in a longer life.
Okay, so making connections, meeting people, knowing people. Anyone want to add to that definition? Communicating with them. What are we communicating?
Ourselves as well as them.
So it's a two-way communication. Anyone want to take it a little bit deeper? It's really about relationships. That's really what networking is about. It's about establishing relationships, not just meeting people. If you meet people one time, I met, John Doe at Career Fair. He was a recruiter for XYZ company. Is he a part of my network? No. That's a one-time encounter. How do I make John Doe a part of my network?
Follow up and reach out.
You reach out, right. You reach out. You continue that connection with them, that communication with him. You develop a relationship. You ask for information. You're willing to help him as well, provide maybe that student's perspective on recruiting. But you establish that relationship. While you're a college student, you have so many resources at your fingertips to develop your network, more so than you will probably have at any other time in your life. Your peers in this room are a part of your network. Your faculty members are a part of your network. The different activities and events that are on campus provide an opportunity for you to expand your network and develop relationships with other people. So we want students to understand what networking is and maximize those networking opportunities while you're a student during your educational experience. We want you to prepare for that transition from college to work. Again, that kind of goes back to understanding some of the world of work as well. And then the other competency is searching and applying. This is what most students equate career services as. Oh, those are the people who help me find a job. Those are the people who look at resume development. But we work in all these other areas with students as well as searching and applying. So let's talk a little bit about what we do and what we provide. A lot of what we do is one-on-one, individual assistance. If you have a career-related question and you need some feedback, some guidance, some assistance with that career-related question, you can come in and visit with me. You can visit with a career liaison. We have 2 graduate assistants that are trained to assist students in their career development. Katie Tierney is another student success coordinator. She's kind of the backup career services person. But you can sit down with us and talk about that career-related issue, and we'll help you brainstorm. We'll help direct you to resources and help provide you with some assistance to address whatever that issue is. Whether that's needing help with a resume or a cover letter or an upcoming interview, or whether that's figuring out what you want to do with your life or figuring out a plan for how to get to where it is you want to go. Whatever that career-related issue is, we can work with you on. Even if it's graduate and professional school, we work with students that's their goal as well, helping them figure out how to explore different programs or prepare and navigate that application process. The career liaisons are available Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. They do walk-in hours. They're the front line for career services. So as you come into our office, if you don't have a scheduled appointment with me or one of the grad students, if you come in on a walk-in basis, that's who you're going to meet with. I don't mind taking walk-ins if I'm available, but if you really want to catch me in my office, schedule an appointment is the best bet. Okay. Some other services that we provide, we do have a LinkedIn page. How many of you are on LinkedIn? Okay, 1. If you are not on LinkedIn, you ought to be on LinkedIn. Why do I need another social media outlet, you're thinking? Well, because over 85% of U.S. employers use LinkedIn as a part of their recruitment strategy. That's why you need to be on LinkedIn. If you're not familiar with LinkedIn and what it is, think Facebook, but for professional networking instead of personal networking. And so you can put your profile on there. Your profile is very similar to the information that's in your resume. And people will connect with you, and you can connect with others that are in the industry or working with employers that you're interested in. It's also an excellent tool for researching different employers and also connecting with industry professionals that are out there and researching what their background is. It can give you an indication as to what type of professional development you want to pursue if you want to be in their similar types of positions, for example. We have a college LinkedIn page. It's Oklahoma State University College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. Through that page, we publish information about upcoming events, professional development articles, and so forth, industry information, because we want you to be up to date on what's going on in the industry as well. And so I would encourage you to not only set up your LinkedIn profile, but also to follow the college on LinkedIn as well. We have a new resource that will be coming soon. You'll hear something about it probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, but it's called Cowboy Connect. It is an online platform that allows for mentoring between students and alumni. It's kind of similar to LinkedIn, but it is limited just to alumni of Oklahoma State University. And alumni fill out their profiles and what they're interested in doing and what their willingness is to help other alumni and current students, and then you can ask for connections with them. So if you want an alum to look over your resume, if you are looking at an alum and you'd like to job shadow that person, this is a platform where you can find individuals that you can connect with for job shadowing, mentoring, even just answering questions. Maybe you're relocating to the same city where you've noticed that an alum lives. You can ask for ask questions about relocation and so forth. So that'll be called Cowboy Connect. And again, be checking your email, because within the next 3 to 4 weeks you'll start seeing information about it. We're pretty excited about its launch. We do offer free resume paper and thank you notes in the Student Success Center. I say free, but let's be real, nothing on campus is really free. You pay for it as a student. As a part of your fees that you pay, $2 per credit hour go to Career Services. A portion of that fee money comes to the college, and one of the services that we provide with those resources is resume paper and thank you cards for you. So you're paying for them anyway. You might as well use them. Come into the Student Success Center. As you walk in the door just to your left, you'll see a cabinet that has 3 trays of 3 different colors of resume paper and thank you cards there for you to take. So you can take as much as you want. So don't go buy any at Staples or Walmart or anything like that. Just come get some resume paper and thank you notes in the office. They're there for you to use. We have a lot of resources on our website. To get to our website, you go to kasner.okstate.edu, look under current students, and you'll find the Career Services tab. And there's lots of information, recent graduate information, if you want information on what type of salary can I expect. There's salary information there, both for our grads as well as a report that's a nationwide report that we participate in. There's about 20 different universities that we pull our numbers together to get a broader perspective of what the salaries are in the industry for different majors and different career fields. So you can look at salary information. There's how-to ready references that can answer some of your quick questions. If you've never done an interview or you've never put together a resume, they can give you some tips on how to get started. So I would encourage you to look at those resources. We do offer career assessments. If you're not really sure what it is that you want to do, it may be that we can just talk through that a little bit and you can find that answer within yourself. I'm going to tell you, I don't have the answer. Ultimately, you're the one who has the answer. We just have to find it. Sometimes that can be done through informal assessment, some brainstorming, some questioning, doing some informational interviews with professionals that are out there, talking to different faculty members. Sometimes through those exercises you can find the answer, but sometimes you may want to take a formal assessment, and we do offer those career assessments. And so if that's where you're at in your stage of career development, feel free to schedule a time and to come in and we'll talk through what you really need. And if you if we feel like you need an assessment, I'll give you an access code to a couple of different assessments that we use, and then we'll process that information once you've completed it. We also have some information, both job search related as well as graduate school related. If you're interested in graduate school, you're thinking you might want to go, you need to take the GRE or the GMAT or whatever entrance exam is required by the graduate program. We have some resources to help you study for those exams, some resources to help you look for different, look at different programs. And then employer development and relationship management. We have relationships with about 2,000 different employer contacts, and we're constantly trying to build new ones for our students. We're cheerleaders for you, going out and saying, hey, here's the skills that our students have. We want you to hire them for interns and full-time employees. And so know that we're out there trying to market you just as much as you're trying to market yourself. So that's a little bit about what we do. How do we do some of those things? Some of those things are through the activities that we coordinate. The Kasner Career and Internship Fair, and yes, you see a date up there. We do have a date already for the Fall 2018 Career Fair. The Kasner Career and Internship Fair will be on September 20th, Thursday, September 20th. We're pretty excited because we are going back to Career Week. We'll be in the same week as the Business Career Fair and the Engineering Career Fair. It'll be business on Tuesday, I'll call it Engineering Tuesday, Business Wednesday, us on Thursday. So you'll have a whole week of career fairs during the fall semester. We coordinate that each year, and we're one of the earliest career fairs, ag career fairs across the country, which is great for our students because that means we get first dibs on employers. Okay. We also coordinate a number of special events. There's some coming up that I'll make you aware of. One is our Industries Perspectives Forum. We try once or twice a year to bring in a speaker or a panel of speakers that will talk to students about a relevant industry issue. On February 27th, you'll start hearing information about this in the coming weeks, but February 27th, we have a panel of speakers that are coming in from Seaboard, Elanco, and Dow DuPont, and they're going to talk about being a student during a climate of mergers, acquisitions, and divestments. There's a lot of change going on in the industry right now. It's hard to keep up with who's buying who and who's selling what off. And that impacts you as a student as you look at internship opportunities and as you look at new employment opportunities. And you need to know what challenges that presents and also what opportunities it presents, because it's not all bad, I'll tell you that. But they're going to come in and talk about the experiences that they've had within their company and about those challenges and opportunities for you as a student. So again, that's February 27th. It's a Tuesday. It'll be from 5:30 to 7 in the Student Union Little Theater, so be looking for more information. We are an AFA campus partner, so we promote AFA, Ag Futures of America's professional development programs. They're an organization, if you're not familiar with AFA, they are a professional development organization for college students studying in agriculture, food, and related sciences. Some of the things that they have coming up, their scholarship application is due March 14th. There are a number of academic scholarships that they provide for students. And who couldn't use more money for college? So if you're interested in money for college, I would encourage you to go to agfuture.org and apply for their scholarship opportunity. Again, the deadline's March 14th. They also have a Crop Institute, which is a 3-day intensive professional development and networking. They're all about networking, but networking activity. It actually occurs in the summer. It's towards the end of July. But the application for the Crop Institute is April 11th. If you are interested in the crop industry, that doesn't necessarily mean just being a crop scout. It could be any position within the crop industry. Maybe you're interested in sales, for example, sales and marketing, or you're interested in communications and public relations. If you're interested in any type of employment within the crop industry, this is a great activity for you to go to. So I would encourage you to apply. And if you go, as a college, we've made the commitment that we fund travel for the students to those institutes. So we'll pay for your airline ticket. Everything else is covered by your institute acceptance. Okay. And we have our internship exchange and resume gallery. We do some feature nights with employers. I don't have it up here because I just got the message for it, but JBS will be doing one before the career fair at the end of this month, probably on February 27th, since I know the career fair is the 28th. And then we have our recent alumni panel during Kasner Week each year. Those are alums that have been out for 10 years or less, and they come back and share their stories and what they wish they would have known whenever they were in school. It's one of the most popular events that we do each year. So those are some of our key activities. Any questions you all have about us and the College of Ag Sciences and Natural Resources?
So February 28th is the college-wide career fair?
No, February 28th is the STEM career fair, and then March 1st is the OSU All Majors Fair. We don't do a college fair in the spring anymore, but we will have a number of employers that are at both of those fairs. Okay.
Also, I want to encourage everybody to take notes as we shift into the professional dress section. You're going to need to know this information.
Okay, just real quickly, OSU Career Services, they are located over in 360 of the Student Union. There's a number of services they provide as well. They also provide thank you notes and resume paper. You do have to have your ID to pick up thank you notes and resume paper over in their office, so just be aware of that. They also sell portfolios and business cards, so if you need a portfolio, a nice portfolio to put your materials in, they're $5 in 360 of the Student Union. You can get the same portfolio downstairs in the bookstore for $15. So save yourself $2 and walk up 2 flights of stairs. Okay?
Do you still have the Dasner ones?
Not to my knowledge. Ambassadors were the ones that were selling the Dasner portfolios, and I think they have sold out. But you can check with Stephanie at the front desk in the Student Success Center. She should know. Okay. Business cards. You can order your business cards online at higherosugrads.com. $5, you get 250, which is more than you'll ever need. But those are a valuable networking tool so that as you're traveling, as you're at conferences and meetings, you've got a professional business card that you can exchange with other people, especially because most of us don't always have a copy of our resume on hand. So I would encourage you to get some of those as well. They coordinate the Hire System. How many of you have activated your Hire System account? Okay, a few of you, about half of you. If you haven't, all enrolled students at Oklahoma State University have access to the Hire System. If you want to know what jobs we know of that are available, that's where you're going to find them. And so if you have not activated your Hire System account, I would strongly encourage you to do so. You simply go online to higherosugrads.com, click log into the Hire System, and then follow instructions. You'll update your profile once you're into the system. You'll upload a resume, and then if you click on OCI, which stands for on-campus interviews, and job listings, then you can start looking for internship opportunities, full-time jobs, work-study positions, all of the opportunities that we have posted there. They do a number of different activities as well. They coordinate the other career fairs, some workshops, and they have an employer relations team. Okay, what questions do you have about the central office? Any? We're partner offices. We do a lot of things together. We support each other. We're both out there as cheerleaders for you doing employer development, and then we help with a number of their events as well. So kind of partner offices. Let's talk professional dress. So there's 2 key issues related to professional dress, respect and credibility. As you look at this picture up here on the right with George W., I don't know how many of you mentioned this or remember this or even paid attention when this happened a few years ago. But there was a big to-do about this lacrosse team that visited him in the White House because, as you can see down here with these little orange dots, there's a number of the young ladies in the picture that wore flip-flops. And that was seen as very disrespectful. So how you dress can show respect or disrespect. It can also speak to your credibility. As you look at that picture down there at the bottom, how many of those individuals down at the bottom would you be willing to accept guidance from or take their opinion seriously? There's probably some that maybe you would, and several that probably you wouldn't. So those are the real issues of dress. It's respect and credibility. They say a lot about respect and credibility. We're going to go over the 2 types of dress. I'm going to tell you there's a number of different styles of dress, from black tie down to casual. We're not going to cover every different type of dress, but we're going to cover 2 of the most common in the professional world. Business professional as well as business casual. So professional dress is pretty cut and dry, and most of you are probably most familiar with what professional dress is. For men, it's a suit and tie, or slacks and a sport coat and tie is also considered professional dress. For ladies, the same. You're looking at a suit, either a skirt suit or a pantsuit, either one, or a dress, not a formal dress, but a professional dress as well. Make sure that, just a few tips on your suits. How many of you have purchased a suit already? Okay, a few of you. If you haven't purchased a suit, I'll give you a few tips on how to purchase a suit, what to look for. A wool or wool blend suit is best because it doesn't wrinkle as easily. It also is actually very warm in the winter and cooler in the summer because it's more of a natural fiber, so keep that in mind. Make sure that when you do purchase a suit, that you try it on, that you move around in it, that you set in it, because you want to make sure that it's as comfortable as possible and that it fits in all the different situations, whether you're walking in it or whether you're setting in it. You don't want the skirt to come up too high whenever you're setting, ladies. Guys, you don't want the legs to show too much of your socks. If you're setting in it, you want it to be comfortable in all of those situations. Any questions on professional dress? You don't have to pay a lot for professional dress. What are some ways that you can get economical professional dress? I have a lot of students say, I really can't afford to go out and buy, a $300 suit right now. How can you offset that cost?
Blazers usually my favorite. I think I was the high when I bought mine.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes using separates, a blazer and slacks, makes it a little bit more easy to stomach price-wise. What else? I will tell you, Stillwater has some awesome resale shops. You can have a minimal investment by looking at some of the resale shops here in Stillwater and then investing in a little alterations through one of the cleaners. Okay? Or even places like Walls, for example. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get solid professional dress. So think about ways that you can do it economically. Separates are actually a really good idea because then you have the opportunity to mix and match things to have different looks. So maybe you pair a different shirt and tie with the same jacket and slacks, or a different pair of slacks with the jacket and a different tie. So it enables you to mix and match a little bit easier. Another event I will tell you that's coming up is Suit Up. If you do not have professional dress, I would highly encourage you, and you want something economical, I would highly encourage you to participate in this. On Sunday, February 11th, from 6:30 to 10, JCPenney's at Penn Square Mall in Oklahoma City will be hosting Suit Up. They will have 70% off of their professional clothing just for OSU students. So you've got to take your student ID, and you can go on your own, or you can even catch a bob, a big orange bus here in Stillwater. They'll be taking an orange bus down to Oklahoma City, and you can shop for professional dress, and they will help fit you in professional dress during Suit Up. Okay? So that's another economical way that you can purchase professional dress. Where a lot of students have some confusion is what is business casual, and part of that is because different organizations define business casual in different ways. That's actually why in recent years we've seen a lot of organizations going away from business casual and going back more towards business professional, because there's so many different definitions of business casual that business casual actually got to be too casual in some places, and they found that employees were having a hard time deciding what was and was not appropriate to wear. And so we've seen some employers go back to, no, we're going to dress business professional. The business casual definition that I have up here is a conservative business casual option. And if you dress in conservative business casual, you're always going to be safe. Notice on both slides I said, if in doubt, overdress. It is always acceptable to overdress. It is never acceptable to underdress. I have a lot of students that will say, well, you know, Amy, do I really need to dress in business professional for this interview that's coming up? Because I know that's not what I would wear on the job every day. But do you know that that's not what they expect in the interview? You know, for example, how many of you are familiar with Farm Credit? Okay, most of you are familiar with Farm Credit. So with Farm Credit, what do their employees wear on the job every day? Slacks and a button-up, slacks and a polo. Okay, right. But I can guarantee you, I've worked with Farm Credit for almost 20 years now in this role in the recruitment process, and I can guarantee you that if you don't wear a suit to the interview, if you don't dress professionally for the interview, you're not going to get hired. Because their perspective is, you didn't care enough about this opportunity to bother to dress up. So if in doubt, overdress, never underdress. If in doubt, pick up the phone and ask. If you think that it's not appropriate for you to wear professional dress to an interview, pick up the phone and ask. There's no harm in that. If you're going on, for example, a site interview, so you're going to be interviewing there, and let's say it's for a corporate hog farm, you're probably right. Professional dress is probably not what you ought to wear because they are probably going to take you on a tour of facilities, and you don't want to be wearing a suit in the hog house, right? But do you really know that? Not unless you pick up the phone and ask. So call. There's no harm in calling and saying, can you tell me what the day's activities are going to include and what would be appropriate for me to wear? That's a perfectly acceptable question to ask. So either ask or overdress, one or the other. If they tell you business casual is what to wear, here is your safe definition of business casual. For guys, you're looking at slacks and a collared shirt. And I do mean slacks. That does not mean starched jeans. No denim. In conservative business casual, no denim. Now, you may work for an employer later where you find that they define business casual as starched jeans in good condition. Okay? But if you don't know that ahead of time, go with conservative business casual. Slacks and a collared shirt. Ladies, slacks and a nice blouse or sweater, or a skirt and a nice blouse or sweater. Questions about business casual? Some other things, we'll talk a little bit about accessories and some other basic guidelines. Ladies, if you're carrying accessories, like if you're carrying a purse, make sure that it's small, that it doesn't detract from your appearance. I carry the big old mom bag because I have 2 kids that put stuff in my purse all the time. If I were going on an interview, I wouldn't carry my big mom bag. I would carry a small little black purse more than likely that I have. Make sure that it coordinates with your shoes that you're wearing. Your purse and your shoes should coordinate together. If you're going to wear a watch, make sure it's not too sporty or too clunky. You want something that looks very professional. Necklaces, a single-stranded necklace. I wouldn't do something like this. You want a simple chain or a simple string of pearls, for example. Again, conservative, not distracting. There's what's called a rule of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So earrings, simple-stranded necklace, a watch, and a ring on each hand. And they need to be rings of significance. This is not the time to showcase your bling. Okay? I shouldn't have to go over personal grooming with college students, but interacting with students in my office, I can tell you, yes, I still need to go over personal grooming. Make sure that you've taken a shower, that you've put on deodorant. Don't take a shower in your cologne. There are lots of individuals that are out there that have sensitivity to smell. I can tell you I'm one of them. Colognes and perfumes give me a migraine, and there are lots of people out there like me. If I'm in an interview or even just in my office, and it's a 10 by 10 space, not a small office, it's a pretty decent size office, but if someone has on cologne or perfume in my office and we're in there with the door closed, when they leave, they're going to leave me with a migraine. Is that really the impression you want to leave with an employer if you're on an interview? Probably not. You don't want them thinking about their headache. You want them thinking about the interview that happened. So freshly showered and deodorant is good enough. If you're going to use your cologne or perfume, use it sparingly. And I would say use a lighter scent. We work in a very conservative industry, and so you want to go, again, towards the conservative side, which means you're going to not just be conservative in your attire and in your jewelry, you're going to cover tattoos, you're going to de-emphasize piercings, so if you have a nose ring, you're going to take it out, a tongue ring, you're going to take it out, if you have a tattoo, you're going to cover it with makeup or a Band-Aid, is what I would encourage you to do. Once you get hired, keep in mind that when you're interviewing, you are putting the best foot forward. You're presenting your best image. Once you are hired, you can feel out what their dress code and what their policy is, okay, and be a little bit more flexible. Have fresh, clean breath. Carry some mints with you. Don't smell like smoke. So make sure that, I will tell you, my hair picks up scents really, really easily. If you've been out at the bar and your hair smells like smoke, wash it. So make sure that you don't smell like smoke. And then ladies, conservative makeup. So it should accentuate, not really stick out. So this isn't the time to break out the purple lipstick or the bright blue eyeshadow. Okay. Some other basic dress guidelines. We've talked about clothes that complement each other and buying separate so that you can mix and match. Some good colors, suit-wise or even separate-wise, gray, navy blue, black, tan. Ladies, you have a little bit more flexibility. You can go with a burgundy if you want, an olive green, something along those lines. Patterns are okay as long as they're subtle. So if you've got a suit that has a little bit of a plaid or a very thin pinstripe, that's okay, but you just want them to be very, very subtle. Nothing that really stands out. I would encourage you to make regular trips to the cleaners. You should always have something, when you are in the search for a job, you should always have something hanging in your closet ready to wear, because you never know when an employer is going to pick up the phone and say, hey, can I meet with you this afternoon, or can I meet with you tomorrow morning to do an interview. So always have something ready to wear, business casual and business professional, hanging in your closet. That means you need to take regular trips to the cleaners, potentially. It also means you need to take your garments out every once in a while, look them over, make sure that there's not any loose buttons, holes, tears, or anything along those lines. Get them fixed if needed as well. Most cleaners in this town are in by 9, out by 5, so keep that in mind as well if you do get in a pinch. But it's a good idea to make sure that you leave yourself plenty of time and just make those regular trips to the cleaners. Okay. What questions do you have in terms of professional dress or business casual? Okay, let's see how much you've learned. So I've got some pictures up here from a conference over the last few years. Let's look at this one. Tell me some good things that you see on individuals here in this picture.
Her skirt isn't too short.
Right, skirt length is not too short. What is too short? The girls' sleeves? Yeah, they're cap sleeves, not too bad. You don't want sleeveless. Cap sleeves are probably okay. But what would make a skirt, what skirt length would be too short?
Anything shorter than that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much anything shorter than that. So this is about, I would say, 1.5 inches maybe above her knees. You want a skirt that's no shorter than 1 inch to 1.5 inches above your knees.
But
Okay.
Amy, like, look at the next picture. You see the girl in the gray skirt,
Uh-huh.
and the one behind with the black skirt.
Yes.
Like, I think the gray skirt's too short, and the black shirt's okay.
The gray skirt is okay.
It is?
Yeah, I wouldn't go any shorter than that. But so it's pushing the limits, is what I would say. But it's not as short as some. I will tell you, last year at Career Fair, I always shake my head at Career Fair. I was coming down the escalator. There was a young lady in front of me, and she had on, or at least I assumed she had on, a skirt and a blazer. Her skirt was so short I couldn't tell that she had a skirt on because it ended at the same length as her blazer. Okay. So, yeah. No shorter than 1 inch to 1.5 inches above the knee, preferably at the knee or 1 inch below is the preferred skirt length.
Okay, because that's not okay.
Yeah, I would not. Okay, good question. Thank you for pointing that out. Is the cheetah okay?
Absolutely not.
Well, once she gets a job, then that may be okay. But in the search, no, that's not okay. It's not one of those subtle prints, is it? No, it screams cheetah at you. So you wouldn't necessarily want that. Okay. What are some other things that maybe are good or not good?
She's not wearing pantyhose.
Right, she's not wearing hose. Ladies, I hate to wear hose just as much as the next person. Matter of fact, I make it my mission in the summer to figure out how many days I can go in a row without wearing hose. Okay? But again, we're in a conservative industry, and so I would encourage you to wear hose. Once you get out there on the job, then you can learn from your employer whether or not you need to wear them or not wear them. But yes, wearing hose is a necessary, I'll say a necessary evil when it comes to business professional or business casual when you're in the search. Okay?
Or wear pants if you don't have
Yeah, or wear pants.
And Amy, where do guys mess up? I think women, it's so much easier to mess up.
Yeah, where do guys mess up? I will say pant length. I see it a lot with pant length. Guys, you don't want to look like you're wearing capri pants. You also don't want to wear that pair of slacks that you've worn multiple times with your boots and they have frayed edges at the bottom because it makes you look sloppy. So make sure that it's not worn, it's not faded. Make sure it's ironed. That's where I see a lot of mistakes with guys. They look like they've rolled right out of bed in their business casual or business professional. So make sure that it looks neatly pressed. If you don't know how to use an iron, maybe we should do a life skills professional development on that. I'd be happy to teach you. What else do you see? What about this shirt right here?
The 3/4 length.
3/4 length is not bad, but I don't know how you could tell. What?
The waist part goes down.
Right. The sleeves are lace, and it's lace from here up. It's probably a little bit too trendy, and even though the cut is higher on her neck, because it's see-through, it's a little too revealing. Again, conservative. It's hard to be taken seriously if you're revealing too much. Talk about fit. You can see here, see there on her pants where her pants were pulling a little bit too tight. Again, that's why I say walk around in your pants or in your skirt. Make sure that they fit appropriately, that they're not pulling too much, when you walk or when you sit, so that it doesn't look like it's unflattering.
Can you go back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I tend to be very conservative, as I already stated with the whole skirt length thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom picture,
Mm-hmm.
I think that girl needs
A jacket. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. On professional dress, no bare arms. Professional dress or business casual, either one. No bare arms. Like I said, cap sleeves, we're okay. We're pushing the limit, but we're okay. Sleeveless right here, not okay. So you need some kind of blazer. Here's some good examples of professional dress. You see the guys are in suits, but here's a blazer and slacks for a young lady.
And so her jacket being 3/4 length.
It's fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's so okay. I think she looks business casual.
No.
Not like for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Can she wear that to?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Just like it's acceptable for a guy to do slacks and a blazer, she's got slacks and a blazer.
Oh, okay. That's a
Okay.
good one. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Wish
Wish
she would've got rid of the hair tie.
she got rid of what?
Oh, the hair tie.
Yeah. Maybe it's a bracelet. We're going to think positively that it's a single-stranded bracelet and not a hair tie. Okay. Good call, though, ladies. Let's talk about hair for just a second. What do we do with our hair?
Pull back.
Pull it back. Yeah. Make sure that it's tucked behind your ears or that it's pulled back where it's not flopping in your face. If you've got roots like I have right now, make sure you cover them. So make guys' facial hair cleanly shaven. If you have intentional facial hair, make sure it's well groomed and clean. Okay, what questions do you have about professional dress? Okay, just some final thoughts. You can't spell success without you. That goes back to that personal responsibility. So make sure that you're taking responsibility for your own career development. We are not the resource. We are a resource. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the swivel's doing at this point.
I don't think it's got you. There you go.
There we go.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. So we are not the resource. We are a resource. There's lots of other resources out there for career development. I would encourage you to use one, but be a good consumer of information. Make sure that the resources that you're using to support your career development are valid, reliable resources, because there are some out there that are not valid and reliable. But also realize you're paying for us, so you might as well use us. So you pay for career services, take advantage of it. Any questions I can answer for you? Yes.
So I just did a cover letter for an internship, and one of my friends did one too, and she went into career services, and I was using the online resource. And then when I talked to her, I looked at her notes that she'd gotten on hers, and they were kind of opposite of what the online resource said. What's the best?
There's no one way to do a resume or a cover letter. It really depends upon you and your background and your experiences, okay? Which may explain some of the differences in the two.
There's this like the last paragraph it talks about this the lady said don't say thank you last, say thank you first. But the online things
I don't think it makes
things like that.
I don't think it makes a difference as to whether or not you say it first or last in the last paragraph. I think the fact that you say thank you is what's important.
In Junior, next week we're going to spend both days on cover letters and resumes.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll have lots of time to talk about those things. That's important.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
In
Thank you
terms
so
of,
much.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around if you want to.
In terms of making an appointment, how do you?
You can make an appointment with me through star.okstate.edu, or you can come to the front desk in the Student Success Center, and Stephanie has access to my calendar as well. Okay. Thank you.
Your thing here.
Yes.